Hello, you're in the field and I'm Derek Brook. It was probably 2 weeks ago now that Jeff Sturgis, for those of you who don't know, Jeff Sturgis is a deer hunting professional. And I mean that in the highest regard. He is a professional. He's been doing it for a couple decades, giving advice on how to hunt deer and how to hunt deer better. And he's a wealth of knowledge, and I would love to sit down and pick his brain on like everything.
Our minds are merging, Doctor.
But he did post a video about the top 5 deer hunting rookie mistakes. This is probably going to be bad for my career. Maybe. But I disagree with him. I disagree with him almost across the board on his list here of rookie mistakes. I think it largely comes from the fact that I think he forgets what makes a rookie hunter a rookie hunter. A rookie hunter is a novice. He's new. He doesn't have 50 tree stands. He doesn't have 1,000 acres to go hunt. He doesn't have a wealth of knowledge and experience. What makes a rookie hunter is the fact that he's got a tree stand. He's got maybe a trail camera. He's got 10 acres to go hunt somewhere. And that's a good start. That's a good place to start. So when he makes his list here, I disagree with it almost completely, because I think he forgets what it was like to be a new up-and-coming young hunter without resources.
Good Lord made me poverty-stricken.
And that's the main reason why I disagree with everything on this list. But let's get into it. I'll stop and talk about it here and there.
The first one, hanging a trail camera on a fresh scrape. One of the best ways to kill a deer movement is find fresh scrape, put a trail camera on it. Think about it from a mature buck's point of view. He knows his surroundings. He does not like square shapes, square boxes.
So I have never noticed deer in my hunting areas care that I hang a trail cam. Ever. Like I have pictures of deer coming and smelling the camera, and then they go back to doing whatever they were doing. I have bucks repeatedly coming back to the same scrape, even though I checked the trail camera over and over and over again. I've never experienced what he's saying here. And maybe that's because I don't hunt massive giant deer that are Boone and Crockett busters.
You gotta keep believing.
Maybe that's the type of deer that would be bothered by a trail cam hanging on a tree in near a scrape. I've never once experienced this issue, and maybe that's because I don't have 20 years like he does. But when it comes right down to it, if you're a new hunter and you've got one trail camera and you're going to set up a trail camera, I would highly recommend you set up on the best scrape you have. If you want to get the best inventory of what deer are on your hunting property, definitely set your trail camera on a scrape. The deer I hunt are in largely ag territory, so it's like mostly farm ground deer that I hunt. Maybe that makes a difference between the deer he hunts and the deer I hunt. The deer I hunt wouldn't give two craps about a trail camera on a tree. I know I've said it, but they aren't going to care. Like, hang it up.
Noisy hang and hunts. It's a big one.
Obviously, you don't want to scare away deer when you're hunting them. That's obvious, but not. Once again, I think he forgets that some people only have one tree stand and they move it around because they only have one. Some people only have enough time, to hunt one weekend a year. So I would say, if you're that rookie and you have to do that, that's not a mistake. Don't let him discourage you from going and hanging deep in there when it's time to get in there. And in fact, I wouldn't even worry about the noise. You see, everybody and their brother, every other day at least, someone's revving up a chainsaw or a dirt bike and making a whole bunch of racket. I would actually go so overt, it's covert.
You're far more clever than I thought.
I would rev up your chainsaw, fire up your chainsaw, bring it with you, hang your tree stand with the chainsaw running, trim out your tree. No deer around here cares that there's a chainsaw in the woods. It's so common. In fact, I've had deer stay, I can see them 50 yards away. I'm holding the chainsaw, doing some cutting. They don't care. They don't care. And that might be a difference between the deer in my area and the deer he typically hunts. Because the deer in my area, I love to go in and hang a stand or do some work right when the farmer in the neighboring field or the field I'm hunting is picking or plowing or planting. When they're out there making racket, I love to be in the woods doing my work because it's cover noise. I can make as much noise as I really want. UTVs is another thing. I don't know how many times I've been sitting on an old gator and I will drive within 10 yards, no joke, of a deer that just looks at me and watches me drive by. Drive your UTV right to the stand if you can. Leave it run and hang it. If you're all worried about the deer hearing noise, give them noise that they're used to hearing and you won't be a problem. But, I mean, being quiet is one thing, but I hunt in a woods that usually has a lot of squirrels, and hunters who have dealt with squirrel woods know that squirrels can be noisy. If you can't be quiet, then you can sound like a squirrel because they make a whole bunch of racket, so don't worry about it. I will say stealth is much less critical than having what the deer want. If you've got good bedding, you've got a good water source, and you've got a good food source, those deer will be back, even if you scare them in that hunt. So if you can hang and hunt and then leave the stand, that'd be the way I would recommend it. If you can afford to get more than one stand, hang and hunt it and then leave. Because oftentimes your best hunt's the first hunt in. I've had it to where I make a bunch of racket putting up a tree stand and I hunt it that night, and I've had every deer in the woods beeline it right towards all the racket I was making because deer are curious. They're curious animals. I've seen bucks. First time in, not trying to be quiet, nothing. Those are the best hunts. The first time you go into a spot, it's the best hunt. Moving on.
Forgetting about the wind. It doesn't matter what product you use, what kind of contraption you use. You can't go into a situation and just think, the wind's bad, it's blowing towards the deer, I'm going to hunt anyways. This is my only stand site.
I've always said that when it's time to hunt, throw caution to the wind, literally, and go hunt your best spot. Some of my best hunts have come on a marginal or terrible wind. I can't remember. Most of the bucks sitting on my wall, and I get to look at them every day now because I shot them, came because they smelled me. They stopped in their tracks because they winded me, and that's when I shot them. You can't go for broke every time and expect to have deer return to your hunting stand, return to your hunting spot. So, I mean, this is a really risky maneuver, but it's one that pays. And it's one that I think if you're not a rookie or you're a professional and you're not throwing caution to the wind every now and then, I think you're making a mistake and you're losing out on a lot of opportunities and a lot of bucks and a lot of fun. I think you're missing a lot of fun that comes from hunting with a terrible wind. Because number one, you have to pay attention. Like if you're not paying attention when you're hunting in a bad wind, deer are going to sneak right in your blind spot or right downwind of you before you see them, and they're going to be gone. So you have to be hyper alert. But secondly, the bucks are more comfortable to move in a wind that favors them. And that's why I think I've had so much success hunting marginal or bad winds, because they tend to play into the buck's favor. The deer like to move with their wind or with their nose in the wind. And when they do that, it's hard to hunt them. But you have to throw caution to the wind every now and then. See, once again, I disagree. I think forget about the winds every now and then is not a mistake. But I think you have to do it deliberately. I think you have to deliberately forget about the wind. If you just go hunt not factoring in the wind ever, that is a problem. I think you're not going to have long-term success that way. But there is definitely a time to throw caution to the wind.
Number 4, doe pee. I was a rookie back in the day. I had my bottle of scent that I shouldn't have spent the money on. And here's a good point about scent. When it comes to scent, in most situations, if we can smell it, it's too strong.
No, listen. Deer have really good noses, but anyone who shot a rutting buck knows that they stink. You can smell them. If you can smell them, it's not too strong. In fact, the stronger the scent, the better. You could put anything out there that has a nice, strong odor, and you would get deer come in front of your camera for you, or whatever you're drawing in deer. whether or not you buy doe pee or anything, he later on says that he pees on his mock scrapes. So, I mean, that's scent. You don't have to buy anything, but I'm saying if you wanted to buy something, I don't think it would hurt anything. Adding scent, I don't really think it's necessary. You don't have to buy anything, but literally any scent would do. I've not had great success establishing scrapes where the deer don't naturally put them, a mock scrape, without a scent. But going back to number one mistake, he says, I would just set your camera on a real actual scrape. It'll work much better. You don't have to buy any scent. You don't have to add anything. Just set your camera and let it run.
More often than not, there is not an all-day stand that's appropriate for every situation.
Once again, he assumes here that rookie hunters are going to have multiple places to sit. And ideally you do. I mean, ideally you got 100 places to sit. But if you're like me when I was a rookie hunter, and arguably still am, you really don't have that many places to sit.
Where the heck am I supposed to hunt?
And when it's go time, and it's time to be out in the field, it's rutting activity time, you're not going to get a deer sitting in here. You've got to be out hunting. And so I never, ever think it's a mistake to all day sit. I think that you might be playing your cards wrong in some cases, but the main gist of it is I think he forgets what makes rookie hunters, and it's the fact that they don't have endless resources and endless places to hunt, endless time to hunt. They've got one stand that's really good, and you need to hunt that stand all day, if necessary, in the peak time, because that's the stand you have. So switching around isn't going to help you if you have no place to switch to. And I think that's what he really misses the point here, and why I don't think this is a mistake. What makes hunting so fun is that no one, even the best professionals, can tell you when that big buck is actually going to walk by. The odds increase based on many factors, and they decrease with many factors. But at the end of the day, it's a wild animal, and it's going to go by when the good Lord puts him by. And you need to be in that stand all day if the good Lord tells you he's going to be coming by at 2:30 in the afternoon. So I don't think this is a mistake ever. I think this is a preference at most.
And then honorable mention, rope scrapes.
Yeah, so he just goes on to talk about how you don't need a rope to make a mock scrape, and that's fine, Danny. I don't think it's a mistake to use a rope. I don't think it hurts anything. I don't think it's necessary. But if you are going to end up using a scent, like he already recommends you don't, but if you're going to dip that rope in something, a rope will hold scent better than most organic things, depending on what it is. The best thing you can do is to get something that's already kind of smelly to a deer. A deer can already smell most of it anyway. A fresh grapevine works great. I mean, there are plenty of places you can go learn how to make a mock scrape. And he's right, a rope isn't necessary, but I don't think it's a mistake. If you have a rope, you want to use a rope, try a rope. What I don't like about these types of lists in general, nothing to do with Mr. Jeff Sturgis, who's really smart. It's really difficult to make one of these lists that doesn't upset someone, because hunting is so unique. Hunting right here is different from the neighbor hunting right over there. I mean, it's different parcel to parcel. It's different from each 10 acres. You could hunt completely different. And so making these cookie cutter, these are the 5 things you need to avoid, is really difficult to do, because hunting is so unique, person to person, place to place. Even deer hunting, even where you're hunting the exact same thing, it's different state to state. It's different here to there. He's got corn, I don't. And I mean, there's a million factors that this simple 5-thing, 6-thing list does not factor in. Like, you can't possibly factor in all the variables. So if you're a rookie, or you want to know if you're a rookie, in my opinion, the biggest thing you can be afraid of is making a mistake. Listen, so what? So what you blow all the deer out of the woods because you made a dumb mistake? You now know it's a mistake, and you probably won't do it again, or you're going to modify your plan. I think people forget that hunting's supposed to be fun. And you get thinking about it so much, because when you're sitting in the stand, some hunters don't have anything else to think about, which is great. It's great for you to figure out how to hunt better. That's what I think you should do. I think you should avoid looking at these simple lists and thinking all those must apply to me because he's a seasoned professional, and they don't. But I would say if seasoned professionals are not doing some of those things that he calls mistakes, they're missing out on opportunities. Because there are ways to do all those things, and there are circumstances where none of those things are mistakes. So my rookie mistakes is being afraid to make any mistake. Don't let these professionals make you afraid to try these things. They may backfire. Don't misunderstand. Learning is a process, and he's trying to help us learn, saying that these are the things he thinks are the most prominent mistakes, and I don't think so. I don't think they apply everywhere. So number 2, have fun. Like, get in the woods, and hunting is an enjoying process. I think a lot of people overthink it too much, and they put way too much pressure on it. It's just about putting meat on the table and getting the biggest buck you can find. Go have some fun.
It's a quest for fun.
If you aren't having fun, I think you're making a major mistake, and that's a mistake rookies and seasoned professionals make alike. You need to be willing to try new things. You need to be willing to go back, look at things that you've scratched off that you thought were no good, and maybe try to assess them and apply them in a new way, in a new light. Just like any of these things on the list, I would be willing to try in the right circumstances. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Have fun and try some new things. Get inventive. Those are the 3 things that I recommend you do. They aren't mistakes. You should try doing them. You should try to do these 3 things. Have fun. Have fun. Hunting's supposed to be fun. And a lot of people get a kick out of all this thinking and whatnot.
Oh, Patrick, your head is absorbing all the book knowledge.
Get in the field and hunt. Until next time in the field, comment, like, share, subscribe. I really would love to hear your thoughts on what I had to say about Mr. Jeff Sturgis here, or your thoughts on Jeff Sturgis himself. He is definitely a professional, and definitely someone I would give a penny for his thoughts. But I wouldn't give him 2 because I don't have to.
Got any money?
Nope.
So, till next time, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. More stuff coming. We'll see you then.
Always hunt as if the deer had guns.
Dang, that's a nice one there, Jim. Yeah, he ain't too bad.
Just to be clear, me liking some of these things that he calls mistakes might make me a rookie hunter. Just to be fair, I might still be a rookie hunter.
Rookie mistake.
But if I make these mistakes the rest of my life, and I'm a happy hunter, I think I've been hunting right.